Hello everyone, welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is a daily ramble. I hope you're all well. Now, if as always, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and don't forget drop a like on the video. That's the most important bit. It never stops at West Ham. I'm feeling completely exhausted with this. So at the end of last night's show, and I put a post out as well, I'll let you know who the mystery player was. So that deal, I'm told, is not completely dead in the water, but it's very unlikely to happen now. Because the reason it was kept quiet was because they didn't want the image rights people to get hold of it. I don't know, but they do know, and they're not best pleased with the potential of that player coming to West Ham. I can understand it if you look at Guilherme, who Hendrick used to play with. You know, yeah, I do get it. It's probably a risk for their client if he does come in and sit on our bench for 6 months. It ain't going to look too good for him, is it? Ricardo Pepi, we put a bid in for, apparently, from PSV. Well, it's not apparently, it's true. And it's caused quite a shitstorm, if I'm being perfectly honest. So, Sports who are the people that I talk to, they're kind of an intermediary company. I've said to you before, they're a group of specialists that look at what a team requires, and then they go out and they basically build a database of players that fit that mould. They go out, they do all the legwork, they see if they're available, they see what the fee would be, they have a look and see if the player would be interested. They have a look at wages, and then they go to the club, i.e. West Ham and Sullivan, and says, right, you need this player. This player's available. He would fit, blah, 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 blah. There's a list of about 20 of them, and they're all brilliant as well. All been proposed, all there. So if Sullivan comes out and says nobody was available, he's talking absolute crap. What he means is nobody is available on a loan with no obligation. He doesn't want to commit to anything. He just doesn't want to do it. He wants somebody to give him one of their best players, whether that be Ferguson, whether that be this guy now, Pepe, whoever it is, Robbie. For us, it'd be like somebody coming to us in January and saying, give us Jared Bowen or Lucas Paqueta for 6 months, mate. Would you want to buy him? No, we don't want to buy him. We just want to loan him. We'll pay his wages. No one's going to go for it. Now, I don't know whether or not he believes that he can actually get one of these deals done, or whether he's just faking activity in the window, placing bids that he knows is going to get rejected, but every single time he does so, it comes out. I mean, where Fabrizio got that story from, that we placed a 25 million bid with an obligation, is completely false. It's wrong. So we did place a bid, but it was a loan with an option. That was what it was. No obligation. Sullivan does not want an obligation. He wants to try a top-class player that's scoring loads of goals for a team that are winning the league, the Dutch league. He wants to try that player before he buys him, and he thinks that's going to be acceptable. Now, as far as I know, he was made aware earlier on that, because I told you about Jurdy Shooten, who is a PSV player that we could have got, a midfielder, but they decided against that because he's a midfielder that is very, very good and very talented, but not the most mobile, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, this guy was also identified and inquired about, but PSV fed back that he's not available for any money. You know, we see him as part of our future plan, so please don't bid for him because it'll be rejected out of hand. And what Sullivan has basically gone and done through the club secretaries, Andrew Pincher, he's basically submitted a bid to PSV. And they're fuming about it. I mean, is he just going out of his way to kill our reputation in worldwide football? Because it isn't just his name. West Ham are attached to him. They're attached to him. And every time he does this, we've had it with Sporting Lisbon in the past, you know, and it just, we've had it with Aston Villa just recently. The player, Duran, who apparently wasn't available, you know, they've just signed him on a long-term deal. You're never going to be able to sign him. Well, he's going, isn't he? He's going to Saudi now. So, yeah, I'm just a little bit sick of it, because I'm starting to feel now, certainly with the way that Sullivan is driving this transfer window, because it's scattergun. There's no strategy there. It's almost like he watched the player play Liverpool yesterday, score a goal, and gone, I'm going to put an offer in for that. Raise an offer for a loan for that Pepe bloke from, who's he played for? For PSV. The bloke who just scored against Liverpool. Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, what sort of deal? Just a loan. We'll offer him to loan him. But they're not going to accept that, are they? Don't ask questions. I don't pay you to think. Just do it. Do it now. Give me the offer and I'll send it to the PSV bloke. That is who he plays for, isn't it? This is how we're running the window. There's no strategy again. So how people can be really happy that Tim Stein has gone and under the impression that it's all going to change now Kyle McCauley is in, I've got no idea, because it is not going to change. Nothing is going to change. People like that fucking Hans Gruber, Maximilian Hahn, he's been kept behind as the next person that's probably going to get thrown under a bus when a signing inevitably fails. Like I said, he had his name put against Brobby for if that one did go through in the end, because it's still on the table. That's attached to him. And this other guy will go the same way. He'll go the same way. He's going to have no influence whatsoever, because ultimately it's always going to come down to Sullivan. Now, it's a bit weird, this one, because Sullivan didn't go via an intermediary. He just done it himself, apparently. So he didn't even go via Silkman or Salthouse. He's just literally, I'm assuming, watched the player score a goal and gone, I want that player. He's not done any legwork or asked anyone how much, whether that player's available, how much money, whether he'd be interested in coming, how much he'd be worth. He's just done that. And what that makes me believe is that he's just looking for a headline. He's just looking for a headline. He's trying to make it look like we're being busy. Because how did Romano get the feedback that we'd bid 25 million for him? That was nonsense. So who's giving him that story? It's like, fax the bid, update the journalist, and he can let all the West Ham fans know that we're trying to sign players still. Proper good ones. The bloke scored last night. This is what we're dealing with now. All the while, pissing everyone else off in world football. You know, I can't wait until Sullivan goes one way or another. It's the only way this club is absolutely going to move on. And as excited as I am for Potter, as I was talking about yesterday, this is what he's going to have to deal with. And if he's going to have any chance at all of getting what he needs to succeed in the long term, he's going to have to probably act in a way internally that he's never had to before. He's going to have to put his foot down. He's going to have to say no. He's going to have to demand players. You know, he's probably never had to deal with this before. He's going to have to basically fight against the chairman that's trying to sabotage everything all the time. So, no, look, very interesting. I'm sorry to say, because a lot of you are going to be very excited about that Ricardo Pepi one, but there's going to be no Hendrick. There's going to be no Ricardo Pepi. There's probably going to be no Brobby. There's probably going to be no anyone. The only player who's available on a loan with no obligation is the one that I'm told that we're not interested in, and that is Barry Silkman's Andre Silva. We all know he's going to come in at the end, and the excuse will be there was no one else available. There's loads available. They can't use PSR either, because clubs like Ajax are willing to structure deals to help us finance it so that we don't hit that PSR obstacle. It's, like I said, a buy now, pay later. And virtually every deal that's been put on the table has included the same parameters. It's a loan with an obligation. So him coming out and saying there's no players available, which is absolutely going to be peddled by everyone, is rubbish. This isn't a bad window to do business in. It's not at all. You can get deals done. But that's where we are. So, look, yeah, sorry to update you with that, but that is where we are. It was crap. Another one. I wonder who we're going to be linked with tomorrow. Ronaldo? Who's he going to put a fucking offer in for tomorrow? This club never stops being a joke. So we've gone out and we've got a manager who's given us a bit of credibility on the pitch, but we're never absolutely going to have any credibility while that bloke's running this club, because he is a fucking mess.